Note to self. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. One more time. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. It's a Note to Self solo podcast. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing a solo podcast, which is like always weird for me, I think, because I'm just talking to no one and I'm having a manic episode like the whole hour. So welcome to my mind. The last few podcasts have been dope. The last few conversations have been dope. The last month has been really interesting. You know, in my mind, a lot of big, massive changes and a lot of massive challenges in the last fucking, just, man, like 2 to 4 weeks. And I can't help but to think, what's real about how I feel about everything that's happened over the last couple of weeks. What is real? A lot of people trying to make me wrong about the things that I'm doing. A lot of people trying to show me how the things that I'm doing is bad for me. The speed that I'm going is unhealthy. The failures are not supposed to be failures, The failures are caused from the wrongdoing. The intention isn't real that I've set, based on the things I'm trying to do. And a lot of times, part of this whole process of trying to accomplish the things that you're trying to accomplish in life, guys, there is no prompt to this fucking thing. You have to be screws loose. And that's why it brings me back to this Marcus Aurelius quote. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Think big, live better. Like, you have to think around the things that you feel. You have to think around the way people make you feel. You have to think deeply on this stuff, and there is no such thing as thinking too hard. A lot of times people will tell you you're thinking too much because you're getting into depth on the meaning of your thoughts and the definitions that you come up with. And I don't think that you're thinking too much. I think that people don't think enough. You've heard about like the paralysis by analysis. That's not what I'm talking about here. Define what you think is what I'm talking about here. Define what you think so that you can create the colorful life you're trying to create. This is getting really like in depth on your vision and like the things that you want in life. It's really getting specific with who you want to be around you, like what is the career you want to have, who do you want for your significant other, like what kind of business do you want to run, what kind of people do you want to work with. You should define the way you think and the things that you think about, and you should not let anybody make you wrong for that. I had a podcast back with an awesome person that maybe misunderstands my way of living a bit. But, she was sort of talking about you need to feel more and not think more. Like maybe you're thinking too much and you're feeling not enough. And the thing about it is that you have to find a way to define the feeling in your mind. And so you have to really think deeply about the way that you feel. Otherwise, you just feel, and you can't guide yourself with feeling alone, because if you guide yourself with feeling alone, you might become a heroin addict. You might become a cokehead. You might be a drunk or an alcoholic, because you're trying to control your feelings, and you cannot control your feelings. Your feelings are going to be your feelings. Your emotions will be your emotions. You can't control those, but you can control how you wield them. So there's a concept I've been kind of working on myself a little bit, and that I've heard a few people talk about, which is perception versus perspective. And this is really what this whole podcast is really going to be about, is like you take all of these things, that are real to you, that you are perceiving, the information that's coming in, and then you paint the picture with those colors, man. Those colors, you paint the picture with the colors. The perception is the colors. It's the feelings. The perspective, that's the paintbrush. And you take those colors and you paint the picture you want. You can wield the information, the raw information that comes in a way that it serves you on the back end. That's the think big, live better. You do not change the way you feel. You change the way you look at it and use it. And so that is the perception versus the perspective. And that is what this whole podcast is going to be about. So the perception is that raw information that comes in. That information that's like somebody calls you a fucking bitch, you know? And you just like, you feel that emotion just flood your fucking body. And you have a couple of seconds here, maybe less, on how you're going to respond and what you're going to think about after that situation. You can get real angry, and then you can slap that person in the face, and then they can basically then press charges on you, make your life worse. There's a story actually that I have. Used to have a client. She came in one day. She was upset. She's a bubbly soul, so it didn't make much sense. But she came in and she said, well, she didn't say much. She was quiet. And I said, dude, what's going on? And she said, man, at work today I almost got fired. And I said, you almost got fired? Social worker, somebody who works with humans. And she's such a great soul. So I'm like, what do you mean? And it was pouring rain at her office. And she starts hearing somebody knock on the door and yell outside. The door was locked. She goes up to the front door of the building and she opens it up. The door was locked for some reason. This guy starts yelling at her, what the fuck? Why the fuck is this door unlocked? This is bullshit. I've been here fucking coming here for 20, 30 years or whatever it was. And she's like, oh my God, like taken back by this guy's just yelling in her face. And she's like, sir, like before she could even open her mouth to say anything, it wasn't even her fault. The guy stomps away, didn't care to hear what she had to say. She gives him 2 fucking middle fingers, dude, because she's angry. Because she's like, fuck you, man. You didn't even this ain't even my fault. You didn't even let me explain myself. 2 fucking middle fingers. Fuck you for being a dick to me, you know? In that split second, she walks back to her office and gets a call on her phone, on her office phone, and it's her boss. Her boss heard the commotion down at the front and basically calls her into her office. She heard the commotion. She looked at the cameras that showed the front door, and then she saw my client at the time flip off the guy, and that you can't do that. And so she almost lost her job because she flipped off one of the clients, one of the people that was coming in the building. That guy wouldn't have he would have had no idea. He would have had no idea. Like she would have just lost her, what paid her bills, what brought food on her table. She would have lost that because of a moment of emotion. Following that anger, she just flips this guy off. Like this guy doesn't even know she fucking exists. And she loses her job. All she was doing was opening the door for the guy. And so there's this moment where you have this amazing power, and that is to wield your perspective, bend your perspective around your perceived situation. And so that's really where your power comes. That's where your power lies. That's where all of this pain that you deal with becomes your strength. All of this suffering becomes your integrity. All of these lessons in life, all of these things that you cannot control become your superpower. And that is what this podcast is about. What is fucking real to you is what you make fucking real to you. End of story. Your life is your life. You craft the ability to do it. To really write your own story, to write the lines in your book. Only if you try to take this perception and fucking use your perspective to make it serve you. So let's talk about what is real. Let's talk about what is real. Real folks, man. Real folks, real situations. Real. The definition of real generally refers to something that exists objectively, is genuine, or is not imagined or fictional. Abstract thoughts are real in the sense that they exist as mental phenomena within the minds of individuals. While they don't have a physical presence like objects in the external world, they have objective reality within the realm of consciousness. You think, therefore you are. This is kind of the archetype of like the supervillain compared to the superhero. You start with the same situation. You start with somebody who's been wronged by the world. You start by somebody who has lost everything, who's been scarred, beaten, broken, stolen from, lied to. Somebody who's dealt with trauma. Maybe trauma is so unbelievably painful that, like, you know, most people would be crippled. That's the beginning of a superhero and a supervillain. And it's perspective that changes their path in life. So they deal with the same beginning. One decides, I will make the world pay for what they've made me deal with. And then they become a supervillain, giving, you know, everyone else the same treatment that they were given when they were younger, when they dealt with their trauma. The superhero says, I will not let anybody feel the same pain, the same trauma. It's all a matter of perspective. It's all a matter of shaping the perception that you deal with. So powerful those are two very powerful, like, archetypes that are both ends of the spectrum, radically on either side, yet they both come from the same exact beginning, the same origin story. And that's a powerful thing to fucking understand, because that is your life. That is your fucking life. Your life is, you deal with trauma, okay. Maybe some really fucked up trauma you dealt with. Maybe it's like you lost your dad or your mom. Maybe you lost your brother. Maybe they were murdered. Maybe you were raped. Maybe you have some kind of, you've dealt with something where you were discriminated against. Maybe you have like X, Y, fucking Z. Maybe you're overweight and obese and people have shamed you. You grew up your whole life getting bullied in school. Maybe you fucking lost your whole family in a car accident and you're the fucking reason because you fucking drink too much. Maybe that is part of your trauma. It's not for me to understand. I can't possibly understand your trauma. But as long as you allow that trauma, you allow that pain in your past to basically guide every fucking move you make, because you're so you can't get that past. You can't use that as your strength. You can't bend that around to be something useful for you in the future, something that maybe you can help others with. You're resentful of it. You're resentful of that past. That past becomes your personality. And now everybody else has to feel the same pain. Everybody else has to know your pain. Everybody else has to be fucking, passenger to this fucking trip you're trying to take them on through your fucking pain. And now you become the supervillain. You are basically, I heard this today, and this is actually unbelievably fucking true, is that, like, then you start to do all sorts of fucking crazy things with quote unquote good intention. It says the road to hell, this quote I heard today, the road to hell is paved with good intention. The road to hell is paved with good intention. How interesting is that? So, like, not thinking deeply on your good intentions and where they come from, and not seeing the full picture might bring you right straight fucking to hell and everybody around you with. So I think that it is not a matter of not thinking enough. I think not thinking deeply on the things and reasons and what you are, why you are, where you are, I think fucks you up royally. I think it fucks you up royally. So it is a matter of thinking, and it is a matter of thinking deeply, and it's a practice of making it something that you do on a regular basis. But what is real? What is real is what you make real. What is real to you is what you make real to you. Because right here, abstract thoughts are real in a sense that they exist as a mental phenomena within the minds of individuals. These abstract thoughts, they exist within your mind of consciousness. One thing we don't really understand, but it is very fucking real. While they don't have a physical presence like objects in the external world, they have subjective reality within the realm of consciousness. So basically, the way that I interpret that is if you start to feel something fucking deeply, something that really, it's like your purpose, for example. I always say to people, know your purpose intimately. Know your purpose, know your vision so intimately that when you think about it and when you talk about it, you feel the hair on your skin just stand on end. You get goosebumps and you feel a shiver down your back when you talk about the thing you're doing and why you're doing it. While the person is rolling their fucking eyes, hopefully, because your fucking vision is so fucking insane that they can't even fucking possibly fathom that this is even a real story. Here, I'm talking to somebody who is insane. That is what's hard about fucking winning. That is what's fucking real. What's real is the thing that makes you feel when you think deeply on it. When you fucking think deeply on it, dude. And it's fucking bullshit when somebody fucking tries to make you wrong about the thing that you feel. The thing that you truly do feel. And because you do think deeply on it. So like, that brings me on this next bit, which is basically like, I'm going to talk about a couple things about like what's been difficult for me to be, and I don't want to make this about me. I just want to kind of give you an idea of like what the things that I think that are real about like hard shit. Like, you know, you hear about it's hard to get fit. It's hard to start a business. It's hard to do this. It's hard to do that. It's like, okay, well, and then you also hear like people say, you know, fail. You got to fail. Failure, you know, like you got to fail often. Got to have integrity, you know. What's real about that shit? You hear about it, you see it in a fucking Instagram reel, and it makes you, you know, you're all motivated and shit until you get into the real weeds. The real weeds on your fucking journey towards trying to be successful in that thing you're trying to knock out. And so here's what's real about the last couple of things that have happened to me. But first, I want to talk about hard. I want to talk about the real of hard. So I got this here, not a little passage, but a couple of little points here on the real hard thing about hard things. So you hear about like you should do hard things, you know, and it feels really good to talk about. Like go do hard shit. Go do something. I got a thing that says like, you know, anything impossible is worth pursuing. Not for what you get. Not for actually creating something or accomplishing something that's impossible, but the person you become. Trying to accomplish something impossible, where it really pulls, you have to pull everything you can. You every resource. You have to ask every person you know. You have to claw. You have to crawl. You have to scream. You have to break every bone in your fucking body to fucking move the needle forward to make something happen. The hard thing about hard things is that all that shit that just sounds motivational on Instagram and Facebook and fucking TikTok, all that shit that sounds motivational, because it's like, I think that you would agree on the other end of this fucking microphone and these fucking cameras. I think that you would agree that like it's, you know, that car that you didn't pay for, that you fucking tell everybody you paid for with your own money and it was so hard for you to attain it. You're talking about the story. You're not talking about the car. The car is just a relic of your achievement. But the fucking story of overcoming hardship is really what you're looking for. And if you did not find it within yourself to continue moving through all the hardship that comes with attaining your own vehicle with your own money and somebody else paid for it, you're going to deal with pain on the back end because you're going to want to tell everybody how hard it was for you to fucking acquire that car, because that's really what you wanted from it, was the fucking story of triumph, the story of integrity, the story of resilience, the story of the human you became on the journey towards acquiring the vehicle, not the fucking vehicle. The vehicle is never the thing that anyone gives a shit about. It's the person that you are that allowed you to acquire the vehicle. It's the same thing with fitness. How many people on Ozempic right now out there fucking telling their story of fitness? 30 days, they lost 15%. Nobody's buying it. Nobody's buying it. Someone's buying your shitty fucking fake story about how you lost all this weight because you took a fucking... It's like, dude, we know who you are. You've proved yourself who you are. You can't lie to people who you are. Your brand is like who you are on a daily basis. You don't determine what your fucking brand is as a human being. I'm not talking about business. You folks out there with fucking brands. Just because you say you have a brand doesn't mean you have a brand. Your brand, your real brand is not what you say it is. It's what people see. It's what people actually see you doing. It's the things that you actually fucking do. And so you're telling all these folks, this is what I am. This is my vehicle. I did all this stuff. If you did not pay for it, you are not fooling anyone. At least you're not fooling the real ones. For too long, you're not fooling the real ones, and it's going to fucking eat you alive on the inside. That's the real hard thing about hard things, is that nobody can do it for you. Nobody can tell you how to do it. There is no prompt to accomplishing hard things and how to do it. And I think one of the hardest things about hard things, real hard things, is that you look into the abyss at what's hard. You look into the blackness. You look into the darkness around you. You don't have the right answer. The right answer doesn't exist. So you just have to make a decision. You have to create an answer with the things that you know, and you have to move forward, not knowing whether or not it will work, and endure what's to come from making the decision and moving forward. Like, that is it. That there is no other way. You don't know if it's going to work. The doubt is real, and the doubt is necessary, because the doubt is fucking real, man. You should doubt yourself. You should not go into any endeavor without doubt or fear of the pain that's to come, because we'll talk about this in a second, but the pain is real as it should be. The fear is real as it should be. The doubt is fucking real as it should be. The anxiety is fucking real as it should be. These things are fucking real, and they should be real in your mind. That doesn't mean you quit and stop and find the comfortable way. That's the hard thing about hard things. You have to move forward. And when you fail, because you will fail big, and you will fail in front of people. And you will fail in front of people, and they will say this to you, and they use this as a weapon against you. They will say, I told you so. I told you so. With a fucking shit-eating grin, they will tell you, I told you so. I told you not to move at that speed. I told you not to take that risk. I told you you were doing too much. I told you you should have focused more. I told you you should have taken the loan. I told you shouldn't have taken the loan. I told you shouldn't have bought the car. I told you shouldn't have made that investment. I told you so. And you failed. And they're right. And they're fucking right. And you have to fucking eat it. And you have to show up again. And they'll say, wait a second. Why are you showing up again? Why are you trying it again? Why are you getting back up? Lay back down. Don't you know that you don't know what you're doing? Don't you know that? Aren't you aware? Don't you feel the pain of that last failure? Didn't I tell you before that you shouldn't do it, that you should stop, that you should slow down? Don't you know that I told you so before, and here I am telling you again? Why are you doing it again? And you have to do it again. And you have to find it within yourself to find some kind of strength in your fucking hollow bones and your weak soul to fucking put another rep in and fail again and again and again. And that is the real of failure. The real of failure is that it is real, and you lose resources, and you lose people, and you lose you lose trust, and you lose belief that people have in you. You lose it all, slowly but surely. But you have to continue moving forward, because the only thing that will build confidence is that you know that you will not quit. Tim Grover says this about winning. He says, the road to winning is hell. But if you quit, hell is where you stay. So let me tell you how I interpret this. One, Tim Grover is not just one of the best personal trainers in the world. He is a personal trainer that doesn't just coach elite athletes. He has coached icons. He was Michael Jordan's coach. He was Kobe Bryant's coach, amongst other legends. Legends he coached. And he says, the road to winning is hell, and if you quit, hell is where you stay. Because on your road to winning, you have to do what I just said. You have to find a way to do the hard things about hard things, which is to build your confidence through actions up front. You build a callousing and ability to fail and fail correctly. What I mean by failing correctly is that up front, you have to just do things without actually knowing whether or not it'll work. You will fail. Everyone will say, I told you so. It hurts very bad. Most people then go, you're right, and they don't continue moving forward. The fucking crazy ones continue to push forward, and they build their confidence off knowing that I don't care how many fucking times I have to fail. I'm going to fail so fucking good that eventually I'm going to win. I'm going to fail more than anybody else because I'm not going to fucking stop. And with all these failures will come the knowledge and understanding on how to not fail. But first I have to know how to fucking fail. And failing fucking hurts. There is nothing good about failure. Zero good about failure. Nothing. Every fucking part of pain that you feel that you feel, every single fucking part of the pain that comes from failure is so fucking deep that it reaches the deepest part of your fucking soul every time it happens. Failure is not your fucking friend. It absolutely is not. But you have to become acquainted with it very, very much so. Intimately, you become one of the best friends to the thing that only wants to see you fucking just in pain. It wants to see you in fucking pain, and you've got to get to know it. And you got to get to know it real fucking well. Because if you're afraid of it, you will not win. You will not win. You won't. I am telling you right now, it is when you're on your road to trying to lose weight and you're fucking obese right now, you're fucking lazy right now, you need to be able to meet yourself in the mirror and say, hey, the reason why I am fucking overweight is because I eat like shit. You have to be able to fucking say that to yourself. Can you? Or do you tell everybody, I'm doing everything and nothing's working? Do you want to know why Ozempic works? Because you won't meet yourself in the mirror. That's why. You won't meet yourself in the mirror. You won't fucking admit that you're the reason why you fail. You are the reason why you fail. You are the reason. You think your fucking diet is amazing and you're fucking overweight? You're wrong. You think your diet you think your diet is you think your diet is great? You think you're hydrated and you're overweight? You're wrong. You think it's a matter of like you work out a bunch and you work out enough, but you can't do enough push-ups. It's just like, hey, I'm just not strong. I'm just not a person who becomes strong or XYZ. Like I know so many people, they're just like, yeah, I'd like to work out, but I'm just not strong enough. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'd love to come work out, but I'd love to come out. I'd love to come work out, but I've got to wait until I get fit before I can come see you. How many times you have fucking heard that shit? That's real, man. And so like, hey, Sam's walking in. Hey, my man, how we doing? And that's fucking real. So that is the real hard thing about hard things. Overcoming it is a unbelievable challenge. It's an unfucking believable challenge. Nobody knows how to deal with it. Nobody can tell you how you're gonna deal with it. Nobody knows, but but one thing's for sure. One thing is for fucking sure. You're gonna have to get real fucking intimate. You're gonna have to understand failing before you're ever gonna fucking see winning. And failing can happen for years, months, before your dumb ass gets it right. And you're dumb. You got to fucking know that. I'm dumb too. It's okay. Admit it. That's how you can become smarter. You think you know everything and you think you've tried it all, then you're on a clear road to never seeing progress. So just fucking admit it. Just fucking admit it to yourself. That's how you win. And that's very difficult because cognitive dissonance will have you shut this off before you fucking look yourself in the mirror 10 times out of fucking 10. Try to find the 11th. That's what you got to find. That's the hard thing about hard things. Because 10 times out of 10, you shut this off because you don't want to hear me fucking talk anymore because I'm the problem, not you. When it's not my fuck, has nothing to do with me whether or not you win. It doesn't matter what my thoughts are. It doesn't matter what my ideology is. It doesn't matter like whether I like Biden or whether I like Trump or whether I X, Y, or the fuck Z. It doesn't matter. But one thing is for sure, you're going to have to eat your own shit. And if you don't, the longer it takes you to, you might be ending up on your deathbed with regret. Here was an interesting thing I heard actually today, which I thought was really interesting. It was like, oh man, I can't remember exactly how it went, but it went something along these lines where it was like, you know you're getting older when your dreams are replaced with your regrets. It's like, damn, that's fucking crazy. Crazy way to think. But yeah, you're gonna have to fucking start owning your shit if you want to see yourself, and that is very difficult. That's one of the hard things about hard things. You have to make decisions. You have to make decisions when there are no good answers. You have to make decisions when there are no good answers. You have to lead when there is no place to lead. You have to drive into a darkness where at a speed that is uncomfortable to most and be okay with the outcome. You can't afford a mental health day. Mental health days don't exist for you. You're going to have to find a way to keep your head on straight when things aren't going well. You're going to have to find a way to keep your mind on track when chaos is your norm. You're going to have to find a way to bring your heart rate down when the monsters lurk right on the other side of the fence. You're going to have to jump out of a fucking plane, and you're going to have to fucking fix the Rubik's Cube, and you're going to have to solve the Rubik's Cube before you hit the ground, and you're not going to have a parachute. So you have a time limit before you hit that ground, and if you don't solve it, fucking net doesn't open up to catch you. And somebody did jump out of like a 30,000 foot plane with zero parachute and land literally in a fucking net. Just go on Red Bull. Red Bull did it. Red Bull gives you motherfucking wings, dude. So I know that you can jump out of a plane and get caught by a net. That's real. That's how it feels. You have those G-forces that you've got to be able to fucking handle and think at the same time, and that's a skill. And that's one of the hard things about hard things. People will make you wrong, and they're right. I told you, and again, right back to this, I started reading this, and I told you so is their weapon, and it's a good one. So the real story of hard things and the reason why people don't endure is because hard things are very hard. And part of the reason why you don't fucking see success in your weight loss journey and building strength and getting your finances in order is because you're not willing to endure. And it's fucking insane. It's fucking insane. The real story of integrity. You have to have integrity. What is integrity? My definition of integrity is this. Basically, you perpetuate your fire under any circumstances. No matter what the fucking world throws at you, you get the fucking job done. The real story of integrity. So everyone's like, you gotta have integrity. You gotta have integrity. You know, like over the past month, with everything that's kind of going on in my life, integrity has been difficult, you know? Integrity has been really difficult for me because I feel like I've been wronged in a lot of ways. I feel like I've been lied to. I feel like I've been stolen from. I feel like the last 2 years of what I've built, a lot of has been kind of pulled out from under me. And I've had to continue to go back to my vision board, go back to my core values, my personal core values, go back to it. Make sure that I'm thinking deeply on those things. Setting intention every single morning, no matter how I feel right now about the way that this thing is going. Always remember, this is a good thing. This is good. This is a lesson. This is a trial from the universe. If you want to be stronger in this life, you ask the universe, and look, whatever your fucking religion is, put that in place. It's going to work just as well. If you want strength, the universe will give you weight to carry, motherfucker. That is it. If you want strength, the universe will give you fucking weight to carry. And in direct correlation to how much strength you want will be the weight delivered. So if you want to be real fucking strong, get ready to put some fucking weight on your shoulders. And that I am grateful for. Everything that I try to accomplish in life, it's put more fucking weight on, because that's how much stronger I want to be. I'm not going to stop. I don't want less weight. But that's the perspective. You go back to intention, but it's every single day, because if I don't do that, then I go back to my feelings and back to my emotions, and it's difficult. It is a practice. You will never have it right. And I also don't hit 100% of the time, but if you're not doing that, maybe that's why you're fucked right now. Are you fucked right now? I don't know. Maybe that's why you are. Maybe you're not fucked right now, but if you are, that's probably it, I'd say. You're not setting the intention on your way of living, but that's because you haven't sat down to write down the things that are going on in your head. Define your thoughts, define your feelings with yourself. Make sure you're clear on those things. That is not thinking too much. That is not doing too much. That is not being crazy. That is being smart. The 1% of the 1%, the people who live the life that they want to live, they craft that fucking bitch themselves. They write that bitch themselves. They're the alchemists of their outcomes. They fucking take the fucking perceptions that they don't have control over, and they use their perspective, that what they do, and they fucking create meaning out of the things that happen to them in a way that serves them moving forward. That is hard as fuck, and it's a daily practice, and it's a lifetime practice. You will never be a master at that. You will be somebody who practices that at best. But if you're not doing it at all, good luck. And that is, for me, why I wanted to talk about integrity, because part of integrity is that, for me, it's, are you practicing? Like, yes or no? Are you practicing the thing that you say that are you setting intention? Do you have relic of intention? Do you set up relic of intention? Do you have a vision board? Do you have something visual that brings and automates your focus, brings you back to the path towards your fucking goals, man? Do you have that or not? I don't know. Do you think it's fucking stupid? Do you think it's stupid to have that? Do you think it's stupid to have some kind of relic of intention? Do you think that it's stupid to have a vision board? Do you think that I'm a fucking hippie because I think that you should write down the things that you want in life? Do you think that that's stupid? I don't know, man. Because if you do, take a second to audit your fucking life. The things that are out of control right now, the bills you haven't paid, the paycheck to paycheck that you're living on. Is that fucking stupid? I'd say. Take a second to look what's real in your life, and take fucking ownership. That's what's fucking real, man. That's what's fucking real. So you can continue to be cognitively dissonant, and you can continue to shut these things off. If this even reaches your ears, I really don't know how this reaches your ears, actually. I don't have any fucking clue how this would ever reach your fucking ears, to be honest with you. Because this type of shit, this kind of talk isn't particularly well received. Because everyone thinks they fucking know everything. Everyone thinks they got it all figured out. And so you hear somebody, and that's also why I named this Note to Self. Remember, this is a Note to Self podcast. This stuff is, I don't have it figured out either. This is why I'm saying, these are the things that I practice on a weekly basis. I'm just looking at Sam over here, actually. I was just talking to Sam today, one of our new trainers here. Sam Schaefer, great dude. Shout out. I was talking about, look, it's not about being perfect. I know the things that I have that are wrong. I was telling him right now, like, I can upregulate just fine. I can put myself through hell, like some real fucking hell. And that's just fine. But what I have a really hard time with is down regulating. And that is my current issue right now. And so, like, but I can own it and I can talk to somebody about it. Can you? It's a practice. You're not going to be perfect. You need to find the people around who do these types of things, and you need to go do it with them. They'll teach you a lot, but you have to fucking stop acting like you know everything. You don't. You don't fucking know everything. You don't. And let me tell you also, you also have to know where you're getting your information. Fuck me, figure it out for yourself. Seriously, fuck me and fuck what I'm saying right now. Figure it out for yourself and prove me wrong if for some reason you think the shit that I'm saying isn't right. But make sure that you fucking, you set out with intention to do so. And then please reach out to me and fucking do a podcast with me. Sit down on a recorded podcast and tell me how I'm fucking wrong about all this shit because I could use it myself. It would be a great exercise. I would love somebody to do that. It won't happen. But I would love for somebody to do that because we would both learn something in that podcast, you know? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying right now. Run around and act like you got it fucking figured out. And that's a bit with integrity. As soon as something fucking gets hard, as soon as something gets painful, as soon as you get into that fucking, that ice bath at 42 degrees, you can't fucking breathe. Everything tenses up, at least for me. My eyeballs fucking about pop out of my head when I jump into that bitch, dude. You gotta breathe, man. You gotta figure it out. You gotta fucking get your body to fuck. You gotta get fucking present. You gotta get fucking present under pressure, man. I've said this multiple times. I'm gonna say it again in this podcast. For those of you who didn't hear it, I don't care because I love this. But it's not about slowing down. It's about sprinting with the low heart rate. I think that's probably one of the better lessons out of the last 2 months that I've heard and really has brought my practice of trying to get myself on point with things. It's been probably one of the mantras that's come back around into my head when things start to get kind of crazy, you know. But that's what I mean by integrity. That's the real about integrity. You know, what's real about integrity is that you do fuck off. How do you get back to it? You are gonna get sick. How are you gonna get back to it? You know, what tools do you have in place to bring yourself back to it? It's not about being at 100, hitting 100. It's about how do you get your fucking self back to it? What are the things you're doing to get back to it? You know, that is what is fucking real about integrity. You know, finding a way to never quit on your path is going to be, to never quit on your path and continue to be the person that you want to be is going to be the most difficult thing you fucking do, but you're going to have to do it with intention. The real story behind integrity, guys. The real story, not the fucking the 30-second Instagram reel of this podcast to get you to come watch the fucking podcast in the future, or whatever fucking influencer has some weird fucking thing they've got you fucking hashtagging. I'm talking about the fucking real of integrity. The real of integrity is fucking hell. And you have to find a way in that hell to fucking continue moving forward. And everybody around you is going to tell you, I told you so, while you fail right in front of them. And fail. And the real of failure, which is what I'm coming up to, the real cost of failure, which, by the way, we'll just get into that right now. The real cost of failure in front of everybody, the real cost of failure is the real collateral damage, the real loss. You'll lose people. You will lose fucking people, real human beings. You will lose them. Your family, your friends, you'll lose them because you will fail. And you will have to show up and they will say, I told you so. I told you were going to fucking fail. And you're going to fail again. And that's going to be real. And the loss of that loved one, because you have to continue moving towards your dream, is going to be so fucking painful. It's going to leave a scar in your soul. That is real. It is a real scar. It's a fucking scar so deep in your fucking mind, so deep in your bones, it's hard to get away from. And you're going to want everybody to understand it. You're going to want everybody to feel it too. You can't. That's integrity. That's what it is to win. That is what Tim Grover talks about. Hell is where you stay if you quit. Everything that you lose on your way up is caused by the failure of trying to attain something that only you understand. The real cost of the failure, and if you quit, is hell. because you're not going to get those fucking back. And guess what? All those I told you so's remain true for you for the rest of your life, and you'll die with that. And that is what is going to be hell for you when you quit. But the road to winning is hell. It is going to be hell. It's going to be every single fucking definition and meaning of the word. And it is not fun, and it is not your friend, and it is not fucking a 30-second real motivation on wherever the fuck you see your social media is going to be real. It's going to be fucking real. And that is what is hard about seeing success in your fitness. It's going to be what's real about fucking seeing success in your business, in your relationship with your wife or your spouse, whoever the fuck you got going. It's just going to be real, and it's not a fucking joke. It is not a joke at all. It is a spiritual journey. This is something that is so fucking abstract, so non-existent in the physical world, but so goddamn present that it's so hard to fucking not feel it. It's the only thing you feel when it happens is the fucking pain of fucking failure. And that is integrity, finding a way. Now, how do you deal with that and move forward? How do you deal with that and move forward? How do you have that? How do you have that holding your hand? How do you have that walking next to you or behind you and whispering in your ear day to day? How do you have that and continue moving forward? That is integrity. That is integrity. How do you continue to do right by people and do what's just based on your core values and your idea of ethics and morals? How do you do that while somebody stabs you right in your fucking back? How do you not relate with the world in that way when somebody inevitably bites you, when the viper bites you? How do you remain trustworthy to people? How do you remain true to your core values when your core values are what got you injured in the first place? Very, very difficult, very, very painful, very, very real. It's the real story of integrity. It's why some people can do it, some people cannot. But if you're looking for success, if you're looking to live the dream that you have in your mind, that is what you will have. If you want to lose weight, if you want to gain muscle, get ready for the snake bites. Get ready for the fucking snake bites. And just fucking take them and learn from them. That's it. I mean, the real cost of failure is the real scars you get from the failure. The collateral damage, the reputation hit. Like this just happened. This just happened to me. Like I got the flu 2 weeks ago. It fucked me up. I go at a pretty quick, I go fast. I was doing 100 to 125 miles a week of running. I moved it down to 80 the week that I got sick, but not because I was getting sick or anything like that. I moved it down to 80 because I had talked to a guy who said don't do any more than 80, and his rationale was pretty legit. Plus he's ran 250 miles in 58 hours, so I was like, he knows more than me. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot. Then I got the flu, and it fucked my respiratory system up pretty bad. I was like sicker than I had ever been for about 3 days straight. I had 2 trainers leave my gym, leaving like just chaos in the midst of clients not knowing what's going on. Like, can they leave? Can they not leave? What's up with their membership? X, Y, Z. So and everyone's messaging and trying to figure out what to do and how to do it. Meanwhile, I'm sick. I don't know. I'm like deathly sick. I'm just at home. Everything's kind of going haywire. I had one person that was like, I'm out, I'm leaving, a client. I didn't email him back, missed it. End up like just sending me this long thing about how I totally fucked him over. Like, look, I didn't even know. But for him, it was very real that like he was being fucked over, that he was being fucked with, that his XYZ, it's gonna fucking happen. It doesn't look good. It's bad for your reputation. It's a failure. It's a failure in communication. It's a failure. Maybe I have control over it. Maybe I don't. Who knows? Look, on your way to winning, it's gonna get fucking messy. Fuck, it's gonna get messy. But the hard thing about the fucking failures and all of this shit and all the pain you're gonna deal with, like the hard thing about this shit is that it's not even the act of doing. It's not even the fucking act of doing it. It's not just do it. It's not do hard shit. It's hard to pick up heavy things and move it. It's hard to run. You know what's actually easy? What's actually easy is the actual action of fucking doing the things that you have to do. The hard part are the people around it, the relationships that get fucked, the reputation, the mental issues that fucking that come across, the ways that you feel hurt, the way that you feel used, the way that you feel. All of those things are going to be real. All of those things are going to be fucking real. They're all going to happen to you. The hardest part won't be the thing that you have to do. The hardest part won't be waking up at 4 a.m. The hardest part won't be going to sleep and burning the fucking candle on both ends. The hardest part won't be trying to do the crazy lifts and the crazy workouts to get fit. That's not the hard part. The hard part are the fucking relationships, man. The wife, the kids. The hard part is the family. The hard part is you love your fucking spouse, but you have to do what it takes to get the job done. And the job done is easy. It's the relationship with the wife that you have to fucking continue to pay your dues every day. That's hard, because it's hard to fucking explain to somebody that everything that you're doing is for them, even though it looks directly against them. And actually, with less attention, it is directly against them, and you have to live with that. That's the pain. The pain is that the dream may cost that person to never understand why you did the thing you did and have a perspective of you that you don't want. But hey, guess what? Welcome to winning. That's the fucking reality of fucking winning. That's the reality. That's why it's hard for you to lose weight. It's hard for you to lose weight because working out for an hour to 2 hours a day is fucking really difficult. The time commitment is difficult. More difficult in my mind. The planning behind getting out there and making sure that you're getting your runs in. The fucking taking care of your body so that you can show up the next day. The making sure that you're eating fresh foods. The making sure that you're looking yourself in the fucking mirror every day and you're not lying to yourself. When you're eating a donut every morning and fucking drinking a soda every day at fucking lunch and you're telling me that you're not doing any of that, and yet here we are gaining weight in your weight loss program, and we're telling you that it's a matter of muscle that you're building, when at the end of the day, it's fucking fat that you're building. It's not muscle, and that is on fucking you, but you won't tell me because you won't meet yourself. That's the hard part of losing weight, not the workouts. The workouts are hard. Yes, the workouts are fucking easy. I don't give a shit. Get off the fucking couch. That's hard. Find a reason for yourself to get off the couch. Find a reason to get off the couch that doesn't have to do with you just losing weight and getting healthy. That's fucking the hard part. Sitting down and thinking deeply. Think big, live better. Sitting down and thinking deeply. Spending time with yourself is the fucking hard part. You lose confidence when you fail. You lose confidence in yourself because every single failure is a very good indication, or at least proof of, you suck. That's one of the reasons why you don't want to fail. That's one of the reasons why you're afraid of failure. You're afraid of failure. Me too, 100%. This is one of my biggest, just to let you know also, I'm not on my high horse here. Like all of these things, again, this is note to self. This is why I'm calling this podcast Note to Self. This is me yelling at myself, and you're involved. So take what you can. This is Note to Self. This is why I'm naming it Note to Self, because I knew people would probably take this the wrong way. If you ever did fucking take this at all. The thing is you're going to lose confidence every time you fail, and you're still going to have to show up. You're going to win confidence when you win. You're going to do that far less. So how do you fail in front of everybody? You deal with the scars, so now you got the pain. You got the injuries of failure. You got people telling you, I told you so. So like they did tell you that you were going to fail. And look, here you are failing. You don't have any resources. You don't have anybody to believe in yourself, to believe in you. You live now with self-doubt already. And you've come to fail again. Deeply fail again. Your relationships failing around you. You lose your confidence. Maybe they're right. It really seems like they're right. And you got to show back up and do it again. How do you do that? That's why failure is not your friend. Failure wants you to quit. Failure wants you to live in hell. Failure will have a great time seeing you live in hell. Failure is not your friend. Failure is necessary. Failure is not your friend. But it is a failure. Because a lot of people will say it's not a failure, it's a learning. It's a lesson. Failure is not Failure is not the lesson. You can take the lesson, but the failure is a fail. You failed. You lost. And it is a fucking failure. And you have fucking failed. And you can take that and make it useful for you or not, but you have fucking failed. And you need to fucking just own up to that shit and not let it affect you. And move to the next, because, dude, like, you don't want nothing to do with failure. You don't want nothing to do with it, and you're going to have to get to know it real well. Last thing is the resources. You will lose resources because people will not believe in you because you did, in fact, fail. When this client, will this client ever come back, the one that I talked about? Probably not, considering I failed. Now, you could say, there's a lesson there to be learned. And yes, there is a lesson to be learned, but I've lost a client. And word of mouth, this was a good client that I really liked, and I'm I hope that, the message that I sent out, at least to some degree, mitigates the way he feels about us. But here's the thing: at the end of the day, it's we're a jank ass business that doesn't have our shit straight, and that's the way it's gonna be now moving forward. It's a fail. It's a fucking failure of communication. It's a failure of process. It's a failure of maintenance. It's a fucking failure, guys. And it's not the first time it's happened. It's not the last time it will happen. You just do your best moving forward to use it. What's the silver lining here? What can be used? Yes, that's good, but the failure is not good. Nothing good about failure. That's a real human being that I did not serve to the best of our ability, because the best of our ability, it wouldn't have ended sour like that, and it should never end sour like that in my mind. But look, you're gonna get sick and shit's gonna happen. So you're gonna lose resources. People don't trust you because you fail, and that's the real cost of failure. It's not pretty. It's messy. It's ugly. It's painful. It's deeply painful. So that's the real cost. That's the real cost. That's what's real about this thing. That's why you don't want to do it. It's all right. You're going to have to. You're going to have to find a way to do it. So with all this being said, now that I've let you into my manic episode, and we talked about integrity, and we talked about what is real mean, what's the philosophy around real, what's the real cost of failure, what's the hard thing about hard things, the real hard thing about hard things. I want to finish this bitch out on the real success equation. And the real success equation is basically clarity, discipline, focus, or we could make this an actual equation. Clarity times discipline times focus equals success. To what degree you have clarity, discipline, and focus will be directly correlated to the level of success that you see in your life. So let me dive into this a little bit, because I probably get this tattooed on my forehead here myself. If you're ever fucked up in life, there's one of three things happening. You're either not clear on what it is you're doing, you're not disciplined on the clear thing that you want to be doing, or you're not focused on the thing that you're clearly not doing. So clarity. Clarity is this. It's like, who do you want to be in life? What do you want in life? Has anybody ever asked you, what do you want in life? Do you think that it's stupid to come up with a vision up for yourself in the future? I don't know. But my guess is that if you don't have a really good answer that you can fucking rock out right away when I say, what do you want to be in life? Who do you want to be tomorrow? Fuck, who do you want to be today? Who do you want to be in the next year? What is your fucking goals? What are your goals? Do you know what it would take to accomplish your goals? Do you know anybody who's accomplished those goals that you have? Have you read a book about the goals that you have? Do you read books? Statistically, the answer is no. So my thing is clarity. Like, if you feel lost in life, well, that's because you have no clarity and you think it's stupid to get clear, because that would mean you're a dumb hippie, in which case you remain lost. And I think that's pretty stupid. So keep that in mind. That's usually where I'm dealing with issues. The second thing is discipline. So you get clear on your vision, you get clear on your purpose, right? Like, you need to do that. Think deeply on these things, man. Define the meaning of the things that you want to be. Get your core values down. Be clear on those things. Now comes discipline. Discipline is executing. Get clear on the plan. I want to make this much money. Who makes this kind of money? Research them. Come up with a plan. I'm going to do this in return for this. I'm going to have a plan that I'm going to write down. No matter how simple or how complex, get a plan written down. Then it's discipline. Show up to the task that you have written down. Show up. Show up. Like, there is power in going through the motions. There's power in consistency. Show up. Show up is discipline. Show up on time. Show up ready. Those are the next things. Because I also think that, some people say half the battle is showing up. I think that's none of the fucking battle. I think that showing up with intention, that is the win, really. But look, show the fuck up. Show up at least, for fuck's sake. That's the price of doing business. That literally is bare minimum. And if you show up consistently, you now enter like a pool of maybe. So fucking show up. That is discipline. Execute the fucking shit that you're clear on that you want to execute. That's discipline. If you are not executing, if you are not showing up, if you are not willing to show up for yourself, show up for somebody else, whatever you got to do, show up. Discipline. So if you're fucking off, like they say the most effective people, the most efficient people on the planet, they're fucking 83% efficient, which means that I can expect that if you're a fucking killer, you'll do 8 of the 10 things that I tell you to do or I give you to do. And that's the most efficient. If you're not writing your shit down and you don't have a plan, you don't do your schedule on a weekly basis, daily basis, XYZ, then you're like probably one of the lowest performers on the planet. You're probably doing like 10 to 20% of what you should be doing. That's 1 to 2 tasks of 10 per week that you need to knock out. And it's because you're not getting clear on the things you need to do that week. And you're not disciplined to creating a clear plan on the things that you need to get done that week. And if you do that, you do to get clear and you write the plan down, I can expect you get 8 of those 10 things that you have done. And that would make you a fucking killer. So you have to understand efficiency in a human is very rare. It's very fucking rare. So discipline is the number one thing you're going to need, and a clear plan is going to be the foundation to discipline. Because if you don't have a fucking clear plan, you can't be disciplined. You're just guessing. You're running around blind. You have a blind fold on, and you're just running into walls hoping you hit, and you hit very little, or you just hit random. And hitting random shit doesn't get you anywhere. That's working hard with no real purpose. That's basically discipline without clarity. That's like working 60 hours a week at a steel mill. And there's no problem with that. But I'm just saying, look, if you feel lost and you hate your life and you work at a steel mill and you're making $150,000 a year, like you have a loss of clarity. That's the clarity bit that you're not the discipline, because you're showing up to fucking 60 hours a week at a fucking steel mill. So hard work in and of itself doesn't make success. Clarity with hard work, intention. That's what fucking does it. The last thing is focus. How do you stay focused for a long fucking time? They say every 90 days a person loses focus on their goals. So you've got clarity and discipline, good to go. But then you lose focus because a bunch of things start to fucking, they call it the girl in the red dress for the men. Everything seems to be going good because you're a killer, and the girl in the red dress comes, something shiny comes, and you're like, ooh, and you follow that. And she says, hey, let's go upstairs. And then she blackmails you and fucks your whole life up. Because you decided to do it. You decided to get in bed with that bitch. And she fucking says, look, bitch, I got you now. She just grabs your wiener and she just leaves. And you're fucked now, babe. Good luck. But in any case, like, that's the girl in the red dress. How do you stay focused? If you have real integrity, if you have real focus, real clarity, real discipline, girl in the red dress says, let's go upstairs. And you say, hey, babe, you're beautiful, but I got shit to do. And that's a very rare person. Can you do that right now? And then the person who's not clear and the person that doesn't have integrity goes right upstairs. And then boom, she's got that dick. So you don't know what you're doing, you're going to be in trouble. Focus. How do you stay focused? That's that relic of intention. Daily intention is how you stay focused. If you think that you can stay focused just because you have a powerful vision, you are dead fucking wrong. The 1% of the 1% has their goals on their person at all times, which means that if I ask you, what are your goals? You can show me right now. Can you show me your goals right now? Can you show me a visual representation of your goals right now? Can you right now? If I ask you? Can you take it out of your pocket and show me? I don't know. Maybe you can. Good for you. You're fucking the 1% of the 1%. Most of you cannot. That is something that can keep you focused. My vision board is on the back of my phone screen because I have to open my phone every day. So I can show you my vision board. It's a visual representation. I meet on my goals every quarter. But I also pay for an executive coach that I meet every week for an hour, and we stay focused on what needs to be executed, and he keeps me accountable to fucking knocking those things out every week for the past 3 years. That's how I maintain my focus, guys. That's it. So I'm not perfect, but I just wanted to get that stuff out. That's pretty much all I have for the podcast. If you made it this far, you're one of the fucking real ones. This is my therapy session. Welcome to it. These are all my problems I have. These are all my problems I've been having. I always feel weird doing these podcasts because solo podcasts are really weird, talking at the camera. It's nice to have Trey here, actually. But look, guys, thank you so much for listening, and hopefully this can be helpful to you. You know, like the thing is that accountability hurts, and things that are real that actually can help you are hard to listen to. Remember this. This is the last thing I'll say. Remember this. Truth, if there is such a thing, is very difficult to find and even harder to follow. So I ask you to do this. 1, please research where you get your truth deeply. Do your research on where you get your truth and ask yourself, is this easy or hard to follow? If it's easy for you to follow the truth, ask yourself why. Because that is the problem right now. Because 1, your truth comes easy, and 2, it's easy to follow when the real truth is very difficult to follow and harder to propagate. So just do that, and I think it'll be useful for you. And always remember, folks, think big, live better, and we'll see you on that fucking next podcast. Peace.